there was a point where a number of top quarterbacks were coming up. And I was like, it was Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, when Russell Wilson was good, and a couple others.
Ooh.
And I said, that's the truth.
If I'm an NFL player, I'm the number one sport in North America. Number one. And I look at Major League Baseball in its quiet hot stove season, and all of those guys are getting guaranteed contracts. NHL right now, all those guys are getting guaranteed contracts. Their numbers don't match ours. They don't have the eyeballs that we do. They don't have the ratings that we do. They get guaranteed contracts. Mark Spears covers the NBA. Great. It's fun. Some iconic players, they get guaranteed contracts. They don't have the numbers that we do. And here we are in the NFL. Number one sport. Everybody's crazy about us. People are betting on us, doing all sorts, wearing our stuff, wearing our jerseys, packing stadiums, and no guaranteed contracts.
But you said something profound there. Everyone is betting on us. The problem is the players won't bet on themselves.
Oh, there it is, right there. Mic drop. How do you think this is going to go when Ben Simmons' Brooklyn Net takes on the Sixers?
I think it's going to be kind of like that tooth that you need to get pulled, where you're like, you're dreading going to the dentist's office and you know it's coming. Like, I got a dentist appointment on December 1st, man. It's not going to be a good one. I know it's coming, but it has to happen. It's going to happen, and once I leave the office, I'm going to feel better. And I think that's going to be the case for Ben Simmons, man. Well. Here we are, brother from another once again. It's Thanksgiving for the rest of the country, Vinnie Goodwill. For us, today, it's Friendsgiving. We have Thanksgiving tomorrow, but Friendsgiving right here on Brother from Another, sharing a meal with you. I see you have come empty-handed. I don't see anything in your hand. I mean, where are your manners? I don't see any pies. Water? We got water. We got running water in the crib, but I want something else for Friendsgiving besides your wonderful company. Can you come up with something before 4 o'clock Eastern?
A hearty good luck to your Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, baby. Yes. I will
a good
take
luck
it.
for that ass whooping you're going to take. A good luck.
Listen.
Good luck.
Hey, Vinny, I can't even talk trash. I was so prepared to talk trash. Talk trash last week with Albert Breer. We call him Bert. The government calls him Albert. I call him Bert. So Bert Breer grew up in Massachusetts, went to Ohio State. So he's a Buckeye, honorary Buckeye. And we were talking so much trash last week. Oh, can't wait. We're looking right past Maryland. I didn't think about Maryland. And as a matter of fact, Michigan playing Illinois. I didn't think about the Illini. Okay, get Illinois out of here. Get Maryland out of here. Michigan won by 2. Ohio State got a late touchdown. The game looked a little more comfortable than it actually was. I was sweating during that game. So I was humbled last week. I'm not talking trash today. I think they're going to win. I mean, like, come on, Vinny.
Okay.
Come on, Vinny.
I like it.
Come on, man. Come on, Vinny. You know what's going to happen.
Do I?
Right? You know what's going to happen. You're dreading it. You're kind of dreading it. You're dreading it a little bit. That's why I love it, though. By the way, I know you're representing the alma mater, but who was there for you before Medill was there for you? Who raised you? Who raised you? Medill ain't raised you. Northwestern ain't raised you. Michigan raised you. But you got no Michigan representation today. You representing that smart Big Ten school. But you ain't representing the Big Ten school that's going to be playing tomorrow.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I did not go to Medill. I didn't go to a Big Ten school because I ain't had that kind of money. I'm wearing Medill today because my friend J.A. Adande gave me this as a gift for speaking to his class. You know, I would speak to the Medill students, especially when I lived in Chicago for a number of years. And unfortunately, Mr. Holley, I'm in your hometown right now of Cleveland. So if I wore, you know, like some patronizing Michigan gear, I might come and have my hotel room on fire. I don't feel like dealing with that right now. So I figure I'd wear something a little more neutral. I think this weekend is going to be a glorious, glorious occasion if we're going to talk about Ohio State, Michigan, or rather, as people with common sense say it, Michigan versus Ohio. That's how we refer. That's how we refer to you folks. Not in that the Ohio State stuff or anything like that.
That's very obnoxious, isn't it? That is obnoxious.
You act like you don't have any home training. That's what y'all act like. You Clevelanders, you Ohio Staters. Like, I'm just glad you guys actually know how to spell the. Shockingly, I didn't know. And when you spell the OHIO, sometimes it looks like it's spelled in reverse. So I'm not really sure if spelling is really a strength of you guys. But you know what is a strength of you guys? Right. You know what is a strength of you guys?
What is it?
Is giving up Heisman moments to Michigan players on punt returns, kick returns.
All the traders.
Ooh, which one?
You mean all the traders? You mean all the traders? All the traders who are native Ohioans who have gone up north. Desmond Howard. I'm talking about you, Desmond Howard from Cleveland. I'm talking about you, Charles Woodson from Ohio, leaving the state to go play for Michigan. Okay, go ahead. It's in Ohio. It's close to Michigan. Still, Ohio. Trader. So go ahead. You got some highlights? You want to show me some videos? Is that what you got here? Did you ask Gary Carter?
I don't know if Gary has the highlights of the 78-yard punt return or the 91-yard punt return. You know, capitalized by Keith Jackson saying, "Hello, Heisman." Do you remember that? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that. I do vaguely.
Okay.
Vaguely, because you know what?
Vaguely.
Because it's like this.
Vaguely.
Because it's like people, like I say Cowboys fans, for example. I don't have a problem with Cowboys fans. It's just the example that came to mind. Who love telling you about the glory days because the glory days were in the 90s. So they remember the 90s really well. They're like, hey, what happened in 2005? I don't know. What happened in 2010, 15, 20? Oh, I don't know. But hey, remember that time we beat Buffalo? The second time, like, okay, we're going over. We're doing 1992 again. We're doing that again. Okay, I got a few issues. I got a few issues with you. Number one.
Okay.
And you know, J.A. Adande is another brother from another. That's my boy. Okay, I've known Adande. We were teens. We were teens coming up in this business together. We have done a lot of the same things along the way. He was a columnist. I was a columnist. He covered the beat, the NBA beat. I covered the NBA beat. He did TV. I did TV. He teaches. I teach. You ain't come to my class. What?
You didn't invite me.
You ain't come to my class? Oh, man. Come on. You going to Northwestern instead of Boston University? Anyway.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about Boston University, going somewhere in Boston, as a brother, I have to worry about actually getting in and out of Boston in one piece.
Hey, let me tell you, Vinny, Evanston, Illinois, not Chicago, Evanston, Illinois, is kind of similar to Boston in that regard. As a matter of fact, I don't think Evanston has the numbers that Boston does. So, you know, let's calm down with that.
Well, once again, J.A. Adande teaches in downtown Chicago, right off the water.
Ooh, okay.
So once again, I don't have to go north. When I lived in Chicago, I think one of my, like a doctor I had was like north in Evanston. So it wasn't as much of an issue there. Now, black men living in Boston, endangered species.
Oh,
Congrats to you.
Stop it.
You'll be
stop.
You'll be. Here lies the Michael Holley Triceratops.
You need to spend more time here. This is a great city. This is a great city.
Oh, you mean like blacks. In June during the NBA
It's a great
finals?
city.
I spent
it's a
plenty
great city
of time
for the
there, brother. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I was waiting for it. I was stalling so you could have it. Okay, here we go. Let me see this run.
One tackle.
Nice.
2. Oh, give me that block there. And running right past David Boston.
Slow.
Hey, but y'all still couldn't catch him. He ran past David Boston on his way to history. Wasn't such. That was you know what that you're gonna laugh at this. I was in 8th grade that day, and on that particular Saturday, I was one of these smart kids. Not to be funny about it, I was one of these smart kids. So I had to take a high school entrance exam to go to one of like the high schools of choice. I had to go take an entrance exam to go to one of the high schools of choice in downtown Detroit that you had to sort of test to get into. It's the same day as the Michigan-Ohio State game. So I'm rushing through this test so I can get home at noon or get home at 11:30, lather it up a little bit to watch Chuck take over on David Boston and those overrated, overfed Ohio State Buckeyes.
Overfed.
Overfed.
That's true.
But I will say this weekend will be a good game. Saturday will be a good game. Ohio State does have a talent advantage. They have a wide receiver advantage, which honestly scares me to death. But Michigan this year, like last year, has the advantage in the trenches, and that's why they won last year by 2 touchdowns. And if they win on Saturday,
they put it on them.
So this ain't the Cowboys. This ain't the Cowboys talking about Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson. We can go back 50 weeks
to last year.
We haven't lost to Ohio State since 2019.
Yeah, and you've done it. And we can go back 50 weeks and you've done it every single week. Every Michigan person I run into just revels in that victory because it's been a long time. But I'll say this. You're right. You may have the advantage in the trenches. Where you don't have an advantage is in a very important position, head coach. Your head coach. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a liability. He may be a liability. Yes, a liability. And I tell you what the head coach did. Head coach, see, like Ryan Day at Ohio State. See, Ohio State guys, even the flawed ones, because we had some flawed characters over the years. And like Urban Meyer, very flawed, right?
That's all
Jim
you have
Tressel,
is flaws.
Well, Jim Tressel.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying over there.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. That's fair. I think Robert Smith learned that, by the way. Robert Smith from Ohio, went to Ohio State, good job. But apparently he wasn't raised right because he thought he was going to go to Ohio State and actually go to class. Hey, bruh, you ain't here to go to class. You're not here to, he's like, oh, I got my labs. I'm going to be a doctor. I got my labs over practice. No. We're not one of these smart Vinnie Goodwill testing to get into the elite schools. No. Leave that to Medill. That's for Medill and Purdue. You want to be smart, go to Purdue. You want to play football.
What did Cardell Jones say a couple years ago? I didn't come to play school. I came to play football.
Cardell, our championship quarterback. Thank you very much. 2015 shout out. But I'll tell you. No, we've had our flawed guys, from Urban Meyer to Jim Tressel. He looked like he was normal, but he was flawed. He had the sweater vest, button down. You think he's just kind of traditional. He's not. He's doing some dirty stuff too. Cool. It's cool. But you know what our guys never do? They don't have wandering eyes. They're committed to Ohio State. They ain't trying to go like Jim Harbaugh is trying to go to going to Minnesota. He was trying to go to the Vikings last year. And then when the Vikings turned him down, because he probably went in there like overinflating his importance, when they turned him down, he tried to crawl back to Michigan saying, oh, I was just going to investigate. You know, I'm committed to Michigan. If you were committed to Michigan, why'd you go to Minnesota for the interview? Anyway, it ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter tomorrow. It will be a close game for a half. It'll be close for a half.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
shooting.
I'm going to tell you right now.
You're shooting your shot. You are calling your shot. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Vinny, I'm just going to tell you this. Regardless, I'm quiet during these games. I'm quiet. So if they're up by 21, I'm not going to be chirping. I'm not going to be chirping at you. If they're down by 14 or 17, I might be hiding. But no, I'm not going to say anything. Down by 14 or 17. I just let the game. I'm old school that way. You know, some of these people with these tweets that people have, it's got screenshots of them. Oh, they try to delete the tweet. No. We got you. When you were celebrating, like a Falcons fan up by 25 on the Patriots, for example. No. I don't do that. Just wait till it's all over. Okay. And then I'll talk to you. What you doing next week, by the way? What you doing next week? What's your availability? Let's work it out on the air. Let's work out. We're sharing. We're sharing with the audience. We appreciate you guys. By the way, watching on Peacock TV, listening on Sirius XM Channel 85, YouTube, wherever you consume podcasts. Thank you for the gratitude. Here for the gratitude edition of Brother from Another. So next week, we love our brother, Vinnie Goodwill. We love him. And we want you to come on next week.
I'm not running. Maybe not Monday. So I'm not running.
No? Why not? You got something?
That's Michael Smith's day. Yes, I do have something to do that day, actually.
You think Michael Smith's gonna be here on Monday? Gary, play the music. Gary, music.
Oh, don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. I can't believe it.
Oh, Gary. Music, Gary. Vinny got jokes. Michael Smith is not going to be here on Monday. Monday after Thanksgiving?
Why wouldn't he be?
Because it's a Monday after Thanksgiving. And it's Michael Smith. You love him, I love him. You know him, I know him.
Are you trying to say that he would skate out on work?
If he's here on Monday, I will wear a Michigan hoodie for the rest of the week. Same hoodie, every day.
No, I don't want you to be like. I don't want you to make the Dolphins.
Mike McDaniel.
No.
I'll go Mike McDaniel on you. I'm gonna go Mike.
No, you don't have to do that.
In for Michigan. In for Mike. In for McDaniel. Okay, I'll wear it all week if he's here on Monday. Ain't no way. No way in hell.
Wash that sweater.
Were you expecting it to be worse? Or?
I thought it was going to be louder. Yeah. You thought it was going to be louder? Yeah, louder.
Before the game where you kind of jumped in the stands and interacted with the fans, were you surprised at kind of the affection they were showing you, and did that maybe help you put you at ease a little bit going to this matchup?
A little bit, yeah. It was just nice to see, have support in Philadelphia still, and lifelong fans, that do support me. So that was really cool to see. That's a nice feeling. I think I did some things in Philadelphia that can be respected and appreciated. I don't think we all have bad times, so it was good to have moments like that.
Ben Simmons last night in Philadelphia. Nets go back there. Philadelphia is missing Joel Embiid. They're missing James Harden, Kurt Helin. They're missing Tyrese Maxey, who's their second best player after Embiid. And they win. The Nets have Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and they lose to the Sixers. So, Kurt, how did you just what did you take away from that performance last night from the Nets and from the Sixers?
The Nets aren't good, man. They do not play defense. They are small. They were running Joe Harris at the 4 for stretches last night. And I love B-Ball Paul, man. Bring more. We all need more B-Ball Paul off the bench. But they were just getting inside, doing whatever they wanted with, I mean, I know nobody can stop Tobias Harris. But like they just kind of got going with whatever they wanted to do last night. It was bad. And by the way, Simmons wasn't even bad, right? Like Simmons played decently again and handled the whole situation about as well as he could. The rest of his Nets teammates took the night off, man.
This team is a team full of mid, right? Like everybody was assuming, Kyrie Irving comes back, Ben Simmons is better, Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, and this thing is going to magically work. Well, Kevin Durant played reasonably well, even though I think, just having 15 shots, I got an issue with that. But Kyrie Irving wasn't a net negative more than he is a net negative most nights because he doesn't play defense and monopolizes the ball a lot of times. My problem is this Nets team, as constructed, is the reason why Kevin Durant said, get me out of here, right? He looked around and says, I got to be tall man, I got to be big man, I got to be defender, I got to be scorer and facilitator. You know who can do all of those things? Nobody. You know why the Brooklyn Nets are bad right now? Because you gave up 115 points to the Memphis Grizzlies when their best player was Dylan Brooks, who's a train wreck on a good day. And now we're supposed to be all up and excited because Jock Vaughn got them playing a little more defense than they played with Steve Nash, and you got the big three together. No. I don't know why they're fooling themselves. This is like one of those loveless marriages where somebody's just waiting on the other person to leave, but nobody wants to change the locks first. Somebody got to change the locks first over there.
Ooh, change the locks.
By the way, did you see Kevin Durant's face like third and fourth quarter when he was sitting on the bench? You telling me he wasn't thinking when's too early to put that trade request back out there? Like he looked miserable by the end of it. He was having fun on the court with Niang, but like if George Niang is your counterpoint and your team's getting your butt kicked, you got a problem, man.
How about that quote though? How do you guys feel about that? We got up on the screen now. Durant says everybody wants to see our team fail. Nobody likes Ben. Nobody likes Kyrie. Nobody likes me. All this stuff. Okay, just your take, Vinny, and then Kurt on this one. I just want to hear you guys.
Nobody dislikes Kevin Durant, but I understand that he's going to take it for his teammates, right? He's not going to say people hate Kyrie and people hate Ben Simmons. He's going to include himself there. You know what that's called? Being a leader. I give him a little bit of credit for that. Actually, a lot of credit for that because for whatever reason, he's lumped himself in with these dudes who are wholly unlikable and refuses to throw them under the DOT. The DOT in Detroit terms is a bus, all right? He refuses to throw them under the DOT. And I give him credit for that because Kevin Durant, to me, still has a pretty high IQ rating. I know amongst us writers and media folks, people look at him and roll our eyes and stuff like that, but I personally have no issue with him. I still think he's a top-tier NBA player and actually a really good human being. So I don't think people want to see him lose. I think people want to see him make up his mind.
I also think people always want to see super teams lose. Anytime you put a great
this
team
ain't no
together,
super team.
But it was supposed to be on paper, right? Like it was supposed to be. When you put together these kind of stars, you get about 2 years of if you're the Warriors or something, and you're winning and you're having fun before everybody turns on you anyway. So I just think it happened earlier with this team because of how it was assembled, because not everybody likes Kyrie. Like I'm with Vinny. Like Kevin's been almost MVP level for most of the season. Like he's been phenomenal this season.
I want to switch gears. One of the best pieces of video we've had on this show recently, Vinnie Goodwill looked to the left, Vinnie Goodwill looked to the right, and he said, hey, I'm going to tell you a secret. Anthony Davis is not that dude. Well, Vinnie Goodwill. If you look at Anthony Davis, Anthony Davis is that dude lately. I mean, it's crazy. I know they lost last night, but again, Davis has over 20 rebounds. He's got over 30 points again. And he's putting himself in the conversation like in consecutive games of performances like this. You got Bob McAdoo in the 70s. You got Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, there's some really big-time players who have done this. What's going on, Kurt? I'll start with you. What's going on with Anthony Davis?
But he always had stretches like this. We all know Anthony Davis can play. Like, he has these moments where you're like, oh, this peak Anthony Davis. I mean, how many years ago were we like, he was going to be, when he came to the Lakers, explode into all this greatness. And he had it in the bubble, but he'd never been able to do it consistently. And that's the question. Like, not that he's going to do 30 and 15, 4 straight games? But can he stay healthy, stay on the court, and impact games for 70 games this season? I don't believe it. And by the way, the rest of the Lakers aren't that good. So even if he does, how far are they going? Like, they're going to lose to teams like the Suns. But good for him. Like, he is playing well. He's been able to do these stretches before.
I mean, okay, if I said that he wasn't that guy, and I remember saying that he wasn't that guy, I can certainly come on here and tell everybody if I was wrong. But they lost again last night, didn't they? They lost again to a Phoenix Suns team minus Chris Paul. And in the seminal moment of that game,
Johnson.
Do you remember the seminal moment of that game, Michael Holley?
Oh, I do. Patrick, you talking about Patrick Beverly?
Yeah. So explain to me how you, as Anthony Davis, 7 feet tall, you see the same thing Pat Beverly sees. You're closer to DeAndre Ayton.
Nah.
And Pat Bev has to be the dude.
I reject it. Yeah, he does.
Because
you know why?
Run up on. Because you ain't going to do it.
I'll tell you why. No, that's not why. I can tell you why. Okay, we're in November. I'll give you the rest of November, and I'll give you all of December. Patrick Beverly, in all those games, is not going to have over 30 points and 20 rebounds in all of those games combined. I mean, come on. This is not a fair trade. Yes, I will sacrifice Patrick Beverly. Go ahead, do your Pat Bev things. Get kicked out of the game. We don't care. You don't really bring that much to the table offensively anyway, and we'll keep Anthony Davis, keep him clean.
But here's the thing.
Because he might get injured. He might get injured hitting somebody.
Look. Here's the thing. Everybody done been in a group before where the smallest dude was the feistiest one or the mouthiest one, and then Big Brother came and had to. Okay, fine. But here's the thing. If Anthony Davis steps in, he doesn't have to push DeAndre Ayton in the back, does he? He doesn't have to do what Pat Bev does. He can just step in and go man to man and say, "Hey, man, that's not cool. What are you doing standing over little bitty Austin Reeves?" That's all he has to do. He doesn't have to go into full Bill Laimbeer mode, but you can stop Pat Bev from going full Pat Bev. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying start a confrontation, but I am saying act like you're 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I don't need that from Anthony Davis. I don't know about you, Kurt. What I want from Anthony Davis is give me 70 games. If you give me 70 games, I do believe. Here's a crazy take. It's crazy, but I do believe it. He didn't have to give you 30 and 20, but 70 games of Anthony Davis will get them into the playoffs because right at the beginning of the year, nobody even thought they were a playoff team. I can see it. I can see an identity starting to form around this team. Okay. Russell coming off the bench, Anthony Davis doing his thing, LeBron will be back soon. I can see this team not being great, but I can see him as a 7-8 seed, no question.
How many games of LeBron do you get? Like, Anthony Davis is great,
50.
but like
55.
If you've got it,
55.
You're right that maybe the 7 or 8 seed and they can fight their way out of the play-in past whoever's left down there. But that's as good as it gets. This is at its best a one and done team, right? Like their ceiling is one and done, and Anthony Davis can only carry that so far. And hey, I don't know. That struck me as a hockey moment, man. You always got to have the goon who protects the stars, right? Like Marty McSorley's got to go protect Wayne Gretzky. Somebody, it's a size reversal, but that's never going to be.
You're
Anthony
protecting
Davis,
Austin Reeves. That wasn't LeBron that got knocked down. That wasn't Russ in his prime that got knocked down. That was, no disrespect, Austin Reeves. Now, if you're the Phoenix Suns, y'all a bit too chesty for me. You know, if you're DeAndre Ayton, why are you going and standing over Austin Reeves? Like, what type of points are you scoring in that matter?
He didn't even block his shot.
That's the thing. Nobody looks good, right? I didn't like Devin Booker, talking trash about Pat Bev in the post game or whatever. You say what you say, but the Suns need to do less talking and more winning. No. The Suns, when you blow a 7th game at the crib by 30, I want to hear nothing from you until the weather gets warm. And while the weather is cold, I don't want to hear. I was about to say, I was about to cut. I don't want to hear nothing.
Go ahead.
By the way, does the weather ever get cold in Phoenix?
Well, where I am, it's quite cold. And where most people are, it's quite cold.
It is quite cold. Where you are, Kurt Helin, it is not cold. Where we are,
I don't know, man. It's 60 degrees.
Does Kurt live in Orlando or something like that?
I'm in Southern Long Beach.
It's 60? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm in Long Beach. It's the mid 60s, man. That's sweater weather out here.
Okay, see, stop.
Toughen up.
So look at this.
Toughen up.
Early, it was sunny today, and like earlier, about 42, 43. I said, wow, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. It's 43. It's actually kind of warm outside. That's where I am. It's always cold. Let me ask you this. Is anybody good? Is anybody good in the West? I like some Eastern teams, but in the West, it's just weird. I'm looking at teams that aren't usually good, like Sacramento. I'm looking at a team that's not supposed to be good, like Utah. And then, you see the Clippers kind of, off and on. I don't know. Like, who's good and what do you believe? Kurt, first you, and then Vinny.
I guess Phoenix. But I mean, they keep winning without Chris Paul, without Cameron Johnson. I still think, watch what I've seen of teams. I still think when the Clippers put it together, like that could be the team. But I don't buy anybody like Boston and Milwaukee are like head and shoulders above everybody right now. I don't think there's anybody on their level, and there's nobody in the West playing like that. Not even close.
I tend to agree. I think the NBA has become the NFL. Well, you got a whole bunch of mid. You got a whole bunch of 7-9, 9-7s. You got a whole bunch of Jeff Fisher type teams. Remember Jeff Fisher? He goes 7-9, 8-8, 7-9. That's what we got. We got a bunch of teams treading that line. I think it's 2.5 games separating the 10th seed in the West or the 8th seed in the West from the top seed in the West. Yeah. And I don't think there's going to be much separation this year. Yeah, Boston and Milwaukee are clearly ahead. Cleveland, where I am now, Cleveland is a little bit better. They're better than mid, right? When you got Donovan Mitchell and some of the pieces that they have, they're better than that. But it's a bunch. But here's where things can be really interesting down the line. If you're a team that you feel like you're one move away and you're not afraid of Golden State, you're not afraid of Memphis, you're not afraid of Dallas, you're going to be more incentivized to go make this move because there is no juggernaut, because this may be your one chance to get through and get to the NBA Finals and see exactly what happens, because it looks like the champs are going through like a midlife crisis right now, right? And they're trying to figure out whether the kids are going with parent in a divorce, right? They're having that midlife crisis. I don't trust Memphis right now because you have to trust the long-term health of Ja Morant. And I don't know with the way he plays and everything else, if that is something that you can bank on. Dallas is going through something right now. They're not playing Christian Wood as much. You're dependent a lot on Luka. So if you're one of those, middle-class teams in the Western Conference and you're a move away, go ahead and do it. Why let the Lakers go get Miles Turner when you can go get Miles Turner?
Yeah, you know what?
Actually, I think that's brilliant. Yeah, because there's nobody that scares you. Golden State, I think that 2 timeline thing, let's just go to 1 timeline, man. Like it is not working. I mean, I truly hope Santa Cruz is a great city, and I hope James Wiseman enjoys it. But like, they're not good. They've got some real issues, man. And somebody, you make a move.
Don't say it in front of Natalie. Don't say that in front of Natalie. Good thing Natalie coming on next, but not right now.
She's coming on soon. Oh yeah, she's coming on soon. I tell you. But I with you guys, I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm just gonna check and make sure, my family's still here, because Vinnie Goodwill has already made references to somebody's got to change the locks. He's talking about who's getting custody of the kids. This is Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be coming together. What is saying soul food? This family must be this fist. We got to be together. And Vinnie Goodwill is getting us all separated. So, you know what, Kurt?
Maybe my black family is the only real family on this airwaves where function is dysfunction. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. No, y'all, your family's still together. Everybody's still together. Everybody's good. Good to see you, Kurt Helin. Enjoy Thanksgiving, and we hope to see you after the holiday.
I hope so too. Take care of yourself, both of you, man.
All right, yeah, go out there in that frigid 65-degree weather. I don't know how you're gonna deal with it. Your sweater. Got to put your Thanksgiving sweater on. All right, we've got the gratitude edition of My Bets, Your Money. I usually say I'm passionate about putting extra money in your pocket, but I am devoted in the gratitude, get it, devotion, devoted to putting some money in your pocket. Last week, it was rough. No excuses, I was terrible, it was 1-4. This week, I gotta be better. Vinnie Goodwill's Lions taking on the Bills. I can't say the Lions will win the game, but they'll win this bet. Take the Lions getting 9.5. They've been playing much better. They won 3 games in a row for the first time since 2016. I like the Lions covering that. Cowboys versus the Giants. Sorry, G-Men, you're starting to fall apart. Give me the boys! Even though that's a lot to cover. Patriots at Vikings. You know what? The Patriots going to win this thing flat out over the Vikings. It's a good matchup for them. And I've been waiting. Okay, call and response. OH, and you say, come on, let's do it again. OH, that's right, IO, OH, IO, give me the Buckeyes, give me the Buckeyes, Buckeyes, by 25. My bets, your money. I think that's 4-0, baby.
These, Steph Curry fans that think that I'm a hater, like I'm a Steph hater. And
how'd you piss him off? That's what I want to know.
See, you're being an asshole right now. No, this is what it is. Because you see everything. You see
what I think is mostly everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much see everything. No, I think it really hit like a culmination when I was asked on First Take, who would you rather have in the clutch, Luka or Steph?
Oh, yeah.
And First Take is very much a black and white thing. You can't really live in the gray.
Right.
So I chose Luka. And my gist of it was he's got more size, and this year his clutch stats are better. That was the gist of it. And for like 6...
Damn, you did it on like 10 games of a sample.
No, this was last season.
Oh, last season. Okay, I thought
this was like during the playoffs last season. Literally, I was like, it was like one of those 5-minute segments, and I was like, I'm gonna go look up clutch stats. Very just rational argument here.
Yeah,
I'm like, Luka's slightly better. All right.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. JJ Redick talking to Steph Curry. Steph Curry just sitting there like, yeah, tell me why you doubted me. I just want to hear it. I want to hear it from you. And he's sitting there chilling. And Natalie, he's so comfortable in his own skin because he knows that that's ridiculous. They played Luka. They played Luka in the playoffs, and they did just fine. They did just fine. So is that just further, despite the Warriors' struggles this year? I want to hear from you. Mm-hmm. Has anything changed in your player rankings of who the best player is in the NBA?
Whatever. I see Vinny over there rolling his eyes, like I don't understand. I don't know how, like, Steph is putting up some of the best numbers in the league right now. He's clearly still at the top of the league. Whether or not you consider him best, like, he's there. He's one of the top guys. So no, nothing in my opinion has changed. He is still the best. And as far as his pettiness, I love it. You know, like, I'm also a very petty person, but that was silly when it was silly when JJ Redick said it. He is actually a low-key hater. I might say high-key. I have to think about it. But it didn't surprise me. Is he? Yes, and it did not surprise me. It didn't surprise me when he picked Luka.
But no, elaborate. You say he's like, why?
Because he always picks, like, when just in a lot of these discussions that come up with Steph when he's on First Take or wherever, and he has to put his opinion, somehow, no matter what, he just always picks against Steph. So his reasonable rationale, whatever he was saying, you always find reason. You always find rationale. You shouldn't have been picking Steph over Luka. That's why things went the way that it did. And Luka was great, but Steph outplayed him in that series. So, you know, like, you're taking a body of work from Luka that's the last few years. You're just looking up clutch stats, and that's how you're forming your opinion. That's actually not that rational or reasonable, in my opinion.
Anyone that has an opinion that is not stamped and sanctioned by the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry Hive all of a sudden becomes branded as a hater. Sometimes a guy can think something that counter to your team. Like when you ask Nat her 5 favorite players, she sounds like my man off Making the Band. Dylon, because I spit that hot fire. And Steph does spit that hot fire. He does. But you know what's kind of accurate. Sure it is. Okay, fine.
I won't let you get up here and do the straw man thing. You do this every time you're on the show with me. That is not true. I've said before,
what's a straw man?
People consider Giannis top of the league. That's fine. I get that. There's lots of players I've considered interchangeable with him. I say I think he's number one, and I make the reasons why I say that. But I also give credence to the fact that other players can be number one. So no, my list wouldn't be Steph. Just like also this year, I have said the Warriors are not good and they're not playing well. So no, if Kurt would have said that with me on the air, it wouldn't have impacted me because I am in agreement. Just like I'm in agreement with you on the Phoenix Suns and them being chesty. So it is not true. Let's not do straw mans. Let's just be accurate. You know, I'm a lawyer in my past life, so I like accuracy, please. Thanks.
Well, can accuracy also account for like tongue in cheek with the Dylon reference? Like clearly I was joking, but understandable.
You do it all the time. You're portraying me to be some crazy person, so I got to let the people know. But Vinny's my guy. I love him to death. Just want everyone to know.
Oh my goodness, it's Thanksgiving. This is so perfect.
What's love got to do with Ike? What's love got to do with Ike?
This is what happens at Thanksgiving. This is what happens at Thanksgiving dinner. People sit down, and, you know, in the beginning, it's like, it's so good to see you. That lasts like for like 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe like 25 minutes. And then the real stuff happens. And then we start to have these conversations. So let me ask you though, since we're on Steph and his team, I know he's putting up numbers. When Helin said they're not good, is this salvageable with this team, or do they need to make some like dramatic is too strong, but do they need to make some moves to kind of give them some clarity so they can figure out, okay, this is who we are. And we can't keep talking about last year. We won a championship, great, best team in basketball, but 2022-23 brings about some different challenges and circumstances, and we need to confront that. Do they need to do something to rescue this season?
They do.
And what is it? If so, what is it?
Vinny probably will agree, maybe not with what I say, but I think he probably thinks the same, but let's see. So I think that to qualify Kurt's statement a little bit, I think the bench is not very good. Like the Warriors, it's been said already, their starting 5 is still the best starting 5 in the league, right? So like they're good, but you can't have the starting 5 play the entire game, right? So I think right now what's really missing, I don't even know if it's drastic. I think they just need another player, but it might be someone who can do multiple things. And I honestly don't know who that is, who can shore up the bench front court, right? I think that's what they're missing. And if they get that person, it will really help. Because right now, I mean, Dante is good. He's a backcourt player, but he's not providing like Gary Payton type impact, right? You don't have someone that's filling the Otto role that was supposed to be Jermichael Green. He is not doing that. So you need someone else in there on that second unit. And when you get that, I think it will make a drastic difference. As it is, since they've taken James Wiseman out the lineup, I don't want to like single him out. It seems like I am, but they've already improved in their overall net rating, offensive and defensive. So they know the changes that need to be made. Just a matter if they're going to pull the trigger.
You know what that sounds like? I don't mean to make fun of somebody, but like somebody smells in this classroom, and it might be Mike McDaniel. You know, that's what it sounds like. That's
I know.
Somebody didn't take a shower yesterday. Yeah, okay. My concern with Golden State is Steph is playing so well and playing so hard early, you're going to run him down. You're going to run him ragged before this season gets to the point where he can really ramp it up. Like, I'm going to say luckily for him, but kind of in a way, luckily for him last year, he had that injury that allowed his body to rest leading up into the playoffs, and then he could ramp it up. He can recharge a little bit, right? But he's playing at such a high level, and it's required to play at such a high level. And then, guys, they go and take nights off. They say, you know what, y'all? We won our one road game for the year in Houston. We'll take tomorrow in New Orleans off. Like, I don't know how good that is for this team in the long run. Like, it's to me, it's not necessarily about rest as it is the type of minutes that you're playing when you're out there. If you're running it to the bone while you're playing 33 minutes and then resting the next day, I don't know how that really accurately prepares you for the rigors of playoff basketball or what the sports science tells you. But I'm in agreement with Natalie. I do think they need, I won't say a drastic personnel move, but if Klay Thompson doesn't play better, this thing is going to go up in smoke. And it's not one team that I would say Golden State should be afraid of, but it's no one team that you can overlook either. And I think that is the clear and present danger for anybody in the Western Conference right now.
Yeah, I think I've spoke on like Klay and the fact that Jordan Poole needs to play better, but I guess I trust those guys to get it together. Klay Thompson's a proven champion, so I trust him to get it together because when I see Klay on the court, I don't see like someone who's struggling because like he doesn't know how to shoot anymore. I see someone pressing. I see someone who's like wants to prove he's still the same Klay. And most of the things that are hindering him are just like mental. It's himself. It's not like an ability. Like he can't defend the way he used to, but he can still be a solid defender, maybe not on the quick guards, but on some of the other players, right? So the whole resting, that's just Steve Kerr's philosophy. He rests them on the second night of a back-to-back. And if you look at the Warriors' early season this year, they've just had a lot of back-to-backs, and they've done 4 or 5 in however many days. So they've sort of had a rough schedule to start the season. I didn't like the resting again in New Orleans, but that's just his philosophy. I don't think you have to worry about.
That's a bad look. That's a bad look.
I agree. But I don't think you have to worry about that preparing Steph for the postseason. He's a champion. Like that's it. The people you have to worry about for the postseason is the bench. Like the proven guys, I'm not worried about them. And the last thing that I just wanted to say is, I don't think Steph is going to wear down. I think this thing every year with him and worried about him, he's one of the best conditioned athletes in the league. All of his prior injuries have always been, for the most part, like since the ankle repair, contact injuries. Like someone hit him or they're not just like him and his body breaking down. So he's solid. He's sturdy. He's good. I don't think those are concerns. They got to get that bench short.
And he's turning 35 in March.
Okay, but right now 35. He's good.
Yeah, you got to. I agree. I think you got to. I think you got to have a maintenance plan, and not necessarily maintenance. You got to have a minutes plan. Now, the maintenance thing that Steve Kerr is doing, he really annoyed. And it wasn't even me. I didn't have tickets. What he said the first time he did it, he was like, "Oh, fans would be wise to check the schedule." Hey, man, I ain't trying to check the schedule and see what
you got the night before.
I got tickets. Yeah, I got tickets. I got tickets to the game. I see Golden State on the schedule. I'm gonna get the tickets. I ain't trying to do no research, bro.
In the same city.
Ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. All right. Anyway, this is what is not ridiculous. It's Thanksgiving. We got Thanksgiving traditions. We got Thanksgiving thoughts. Vinny, you said something a couple weeks ago. I want you to follow up on it. You called something a Thanksgiving movie, and I just want you to show your work. What did you call it? Tell the people What did you call a Thanksgiving movie, and why is it?
The greatest ensemble cast of all time? Boomerang. That is the greatest Thanksgiving movie of all time. Now, you would say, what makes it a Thanksgiving movie? I don't know any Thanksgiving movies. You know, Halloween, you know, Christmas. The dinner scene with the chitlins and the, you know, are you whipped? That is a Thanksgiving dinner scene. That is I can't name a comedy or a film that has a greater ensemble cast of stars and comics, notable people on there with minor roles, major roles. It is literally every time that movie is on, no matter where it's at, I am cutting it on and I am sitting down, I'm transfixed.
I like it.
You buy it, Natalie? Thanksgiving movie?
It's a stretch, but I love the movie, so I'm gonna co-sign Vinny here.
Do you all have any Thanksgiving traditions that you follow? Any unusual things that you do in your family or that you do specifically around Thanksgiving that you'd like to share with our audience before we sign off?
Never had a chitlin in my life and never will have a chitlin in my life. That is the most disgusting. Not never. Are you crazy? Not never. Don't put a chitlin near me.
I never have either. But my family's Jamaican, so I don't think it's weird, but for us, we don't eat traditional, what people would consider Thanksgiving food. We eat Jamaican food. So there's jerk chicken and there's, you know.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, we cook things that are like the foods that we eat and, you know, but for the holidays. So that's for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I can tell you this.
Go ahead. I was gonna say,
I was just gonna say,
go ahead.
No, it's good. Real quick. Just I'll tell you all about chitlins since you've never had them. I used to have to go buy them. I'd buy them at the store. I'd bring them back. They would clean them. The whole family clean these chitlins and clean them for days. And you know what? Still nasty. Your house, they taste okay, but the smell lingers for at least a week. It is just nasty. Tell me about your aunt, though. Tell me about your aunt real quick. We got 30 seconds, Vinny. Tell me about your aunt. What you do?
She makes this strawberry sort of jello mold that's got strawberries and whipped cream and pecans and pineapples in it. Greatest thing ever. That's actually my formal request if she's watching. Can you make that for me, Auntie Carol? I appreciate it.
Sounds delicious.
Everybody. For the whole cast. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Vinny. Happy Thanksgiving, Natalie. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you and your families.
Likewise.
And all of y'all. We just appreciate you. Love having this platform so we can just share and talk, make ourselves vulnerable, and have some good times as well. Hey, noon on Saturday, noon Eastern, OH. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.